next to me. Okay, sorry about that. All right, US stocks closed high and another quiet day on the markets. The Dow is now closed positively for the 19th straight Tuesday to close at new highs. Pretty much every Tuesday the guys calling out turnaround Tuesday, but it never happens. It just carries on going higher. Deutsche Bank's Livorno came out with a tweet saying New York Fed Dudley and St. Louis Fed Bullard sounding a dovish tone with regard to QE, likely to be reiterated by Bernanke tomorrow. I think Dudley came out earlier saying that he wasn't sure if QE was going to be raised or cut, and I think Bernanke's pretty much just going to say that he's going to continue to watch announcements coming out, and if he is going to cut QE, he'll probably do it in a very ordered fashion. Asian stocks have continued their trot as Japanese shares led the gains after the BOJ maintained its easing plan. MSCI Asia now at its highest level in 5 years. And then diversified mining counters again outperforming in Australia, bolstered by a recovering copper price. Industrial metals just continuing to outperform their precious metal counterparts. Then this morning we had a real underperform in the retail sector. Lewis came out with actually better than expected earnings. The revenue was in line, but headline earnings per share up 13.6%, and that was 10 Rand and 3 cents compared to 9 Rand 24, and a dividend per share of 3 Rand and 2 cents versus 2 Rand 78. So a beat there by Lewis. Mediclinic in line with guidance, a beat on the original estimates. Divi also in line. Headline earnings per share up 53%. So another solid performance out of Mediclinic. That is excluding a one-off refinancing charge, so it is a normal headline earnings per share. And then Mr. Price, we've got earnings out later today. Headline earnings per share expected at 6.31 and a dividend of 2.62. And then at 8 o'clock, Amplats came out and said that parties have agreed on measures that will preserve jobs and that will not mitigate job cuts. So yeah, it seems like the government is really putting pressure on Amplats not to cut too many jobs, which is obviously not too bullish for them, as they need desperately to cut costs. And then interestingly, Citi has stuck their neck out and have raised Amplats and Northams to a buy. Coming out this today, we had Japanese, I don't know what that is, mechanized trade balance. We had SACPI, BOE releases minutes of Monetary Policy Committee later, retail sales out of the UK later, US mortgage applications at 1. Then the EU Leaders Summit in Brussels at 1 o'clock. 4 o'clock we have existing home sales out of the States. 4 o'clock we have Bernanke testifies on the economic outlook. 4:30, I believe this is the one a lot of the oil traders have been waiting for. DOE crude oil inventory is expected at minus 1 million barrels. And then US Fed releases minutes of last FOMC meeting at 8 o'clock. So quite a lot to look forward to this afternoon. Okay, let's have a look at a few charts. All right, let's start with the rand against the US dollar. This is one, I think, the last time I did the meeting was about a week and a half ago. We were looking at this reversal off the 9 rand to the dollar level. We were saying that we had a target to 950, which I think we were all quite amazed at how quickly it got there. So we're sitting right on the top of this large channel. It is obviously a little bit overbought for the moment, so we could have a pullback. But if we have a look at the longer term chart here, the target from this continuation inverse head and shoulders was around about 950, 960, which is reached now. But if we look, we had this big broadening bottom with a bit of a cup and handle, and that's still pointing to a target of about 10.5. So still a lot of weakness forecast for the rand, and I think pullbacks will be viable. Okay, let's have a look at the Aussie. Alright, so the Aussies had a massive run. I haven't got the moving average on here. I'm not going to put it on right now, but we're sitting, more than 5% above the 20-day moving average, which is a definite extreme for the Aussie. I think a lot of guys have been caught short. This has been a big short squeeze. If you've been trading the market the last few days, you would have noticed it. Obviously, the rand has helped. A lot of the big rand hedges have really had big moves, like Naspers and CFR, breweries to a certain extent, really pushing our market higher. If we go to what's interesting, if we go to a 30-minute and we zoom in a little bit here, we see we've got a bit of an inverse head and shoulders continuation, pointing to a target of around 38,000. Not 100% sure if we'll get there in a straight line. We might pull back and test 37,200. But as I say, we are at very extreme levels, and I would be surprised if we don't have some kind of pullback from here. Right, let's have a quick look at Anglos. Anglos have had a nice recovery from the from that false breakdown they had at 216, reaching the top of its sort of immediate range. If we go to a slightly longer term outlook, we still have this big looming head and shoulders that it broke down from. It consolidated underneath. So our next target, if we break down from this immediate little range, on the upside is around 247. Before we encounter sort of some resistance, but we're going to continue watching this small range here. I think 237 was the top of the range, give or take. If we get a reversal day down from this level, we could probably short it for to get back down to 216, and we've probably got another 10 rand to the upside, and in the immediate term if it breaks up through that level. Let's have a look at CFR. This one we spoke about earlier. Massive move to the upside here. It's been the perfect storm of better than expected earnings and outlook, as well as a weakening rand and just the general squeeze in the market. And it's really moved quickly through this resistance and a lot higher. I think the top of the target point for this breakout was around about 93. We got very close. I think we were at 90. If I look at CFR closing in Switzerland, 91.22. So really not far from its target right now. So you might want to watch if you are looking to sort of fade this move, which is probably not advisable unless you an experienced trader. You want to look for a clear reversal before getting involved. Let's have a look at Woolies. This is one of the ones I prefer out of most of the retailers. We had this big consolidation, nice breakout, got very close to the target, and it's pulling back a little bit. We've pulled back more or less 50% of the move and had a bit of a reversal up from yesterday. A note for these retailers is they've got a rate announcement tomorrow. So we'll see what comes out of that. But still the target to immediate target to 83 and probably higher in Woolies. I think it's definitely one that you want to look to pick up on bounces. I think worst case scenario, if we do get a shock on the retailers to the downside, we're looking to try and pick this up at around 71, 70, 72. Let's have a quick look while we're on the retailers at Mr. Price. Another one that's broke up out of a bit of a range. It's pulled back pretty much right to that level and reversed up yesterday. If we continue to get some strength out of these ones, I see that we could have significantly more upside. We did have earnings as we showed earlier, so we're going to we're going to watch that. If we do get a beat on earnings, it might be a great one to get involved in. And then let's have a quick look at PPC. Not one we normally follow, but as you can see, it's formed a big head and shoulders here. Quite well-defined neckline at 32. Broken down, it's currently trading around 30, just above 31. I would imagine it looks like there's a bit of support here around this 30 level, so I'd imagine we get down to that 30 level and test that. If we do get a bit of a bounce off that back to the neckline, then look for another chance to sell it for the full target to $28. And then let's have a quick, while we're looking, let's have a look at Anglo Gold and Goldfields. Still broken down. That little bounce in the gold price, couldn't get the shares up. Despite quite a higher close yesterday in the States. They took a hammering in the States again last night, and it looks like we're going to continue down. I think the target on Anglo Gold is around about 145 for the immediate term, and Goldfields similar. I think we've got this Goldfields in the US. Still trading at its lows, and I think there's a significantly lower target here as well. I think 58 to 70, you're looking probably about $12 downside, which put it at about 46. I'm not sure if those targets will definitely be reached, but definitely not worth buying at these levels. And then the last one I'll show is out of the UK. It's Reckitt Benckiser, forming a nice consolidation. Broke out a little while ago and tested the breakout point. Is now bouncing. It's made a new high, and it looks like it's getting set to continue higher. And that's all for today, guys. Good luck.
Thanks, bro.